Hello, welcome to our channel. We thought we'd do a little video about who we are and what the channel is and welcome you officially to our little world. Who are we?
We are Chris and Steve, Eat, Walk, Learn, and we thought we'd do this little video and break it down into three sections for you. The first section is who we are, give you a little bit of a backstory about where we came from. The second section is what is this channel all about? And the third section is why do we even do YouTube and why are we bringing this information to you?
So we hope by the end of this, you will love us enough to subscribe and like and join us everywhere in our Eat, Walk, Learn world, including our websites and our social media, read our books, and also join us here on our channel, usually every Sunday about 10 o'clock Eastern, we publish a new video. So who are you?
I'm Steve. I am a full-time early retired traveler. And who are you?
I'm Chris, and I'm married to you, and I'm also a full-time early retired traveler. But what did you do before we even started traveling?
Yeah, so just real quick. So I was in software sales, and Chris was also in software sales. No, we didn't really compete against each other. We were in slightly different
divisions,
different divisions,
in different companies.
But exactly, in different companies and had different career paths. But in fact, Chris retired 5 years before I did. When did you retire?
Oh boy, it was 2016. I retired early. I was able to take advantage of a long time of saving and stashing away bonuses and so on, and figured out that I had hit my retirement number early, and when an opportunity came to leave corporate America, I did. So I left, and then while I was waiting for you to retire and our daughter to graduate, our youngest daughter to graduate from high school, I started a little business in Denver where I would hike every day and I would write about it, and pretty soon I was writing and authoring books and content about hiking in Denver.
Yeah, and we get a lot of questions about our finances, and the reason I was still working and Chris was retired is that we have always kept our finances separately. And as we were getting into the FIRE movement, which is financial independence, retire early, I was doing my spreadsheets and I was trying to figure out what number I needed to hit so that I could retire. It just so happens that it all kind of came together at the same time that I was able to hit my early retirement FIRE number, and our daughter was graduating high school and Chris was already retired, and that gave us the freedom to leave Denver, Colorado, and travel the world.
But I think what's important is I know a lot of people want to know, like, how did we go from this traditional life of family life and kids and work and so on to traveling the world full time?
Yeah.
So I remember we were sitting around the fire in our house in Denver. It was snowing and the snow was about to finish, and I said to you, do you want to shovel or should I? And I said, I'll shovel, because I actually like shoveling, but we only had 20 square feet we had to shovel because we lived in a house that had maintenance people that came to do that. But I remember thinking, wouldn't it be nice if we never had to shovel snow again? And I think that was kind of the beginning of our conversation of what we were going to do in retirement.
Yeah, and I think that's something that a lot of people can relate to is, that you just want to have a different environment and something where you want to get out of the cold, you want to get to nice weather, and that's we talk about how we chase 72 degrees or 20 degrees Celsius. And also, we didn't really have anything that were tying us to Denver, Colorado. Our daughter was graduating high school. We were both going to be retiring. We didn't have other close family that was around, and we had a large house that we really didn't need anymore.
Right. So we started talking about, well, we're going to sell the house, and then, well, if we sell the house, what would we buy? And then if we were going to buy something, where would it be? And then it was just this, and what we were going to be doing when we retired. And we knew that we didn't want to sit on a golf course, and we didn't want to, go fishing every day. And we just knew that we wanted more, and we wanted to travel, and we wanted to travel the world. And so as we started thinking about having a house and traveling the world, well, we wanted to do more of this and less of this. And so that's when we started thinking, well, why do we need a house at all?
Yeah. And in 2019, you went on a trip. You went to South America. I was working. It was winter time. And you had some revelations.
Yeah, so I went as a solo traveler. I went down to South America and went to 4 different countries and stayed 1 month at a time, 4 different Airbnbs. And I really started realizing that living in an Airbnb for a month was a doable way to travel through the world, because you had the comforts of home and you had a kitchen and so on. And maybe we could do that too. Like, what would it look like if we thought about a month at a time traveling the world and staying in Airbnbs? And this was kind of the model that I came back to Denver, and we started really hashing through that model. And then all of a sudden, we made the plan and put a date on the calendar to sell and leave Denver.
Right.
Right. So that took like 2 years, right? I came back in 2019. We made the decision, and then we had a 2-year plan in order to get out of Denver.
Yeah, and then what did you do in those 2 years while I was still working?
Right. So again, I wanted to continue to travel, so I developed this 50 Hikes, 50 States project. And then once a weekend, or once a month on the weekend, usually you and I, sometimes just myself, we would fly to somewhere in the United States, and we would try to do 3 or 4 hikes that weekend. And over a 24-month period, we hiked all 50 states. And this happened to be the same 24 months of our plan, of the timeline before we actually launched for our Nomad Life. So also during that time period, Steve was working. I was doing this 50 hikes plan. I was also doing the hiking and the walking and the writing, and also put together how we actually got out of Denver. And we actually then wrote a book about that called 2 Carry-Ons and a Plan, which was the second book. So I had the first book, 50 Hikes, 50 States, which is what we did before we left. I had 2 Carry-Ons and a Plan, which is what we did to get out of the country. And then I wrote a third book, which we'll tell you about in a minute, but that's what happened as we lived our nomad life.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's exciting because you're an author, and we have this YouTube channel. We have also a Facebook group, our Instagram.
We have a website.
Mm-hmm. But so what is this channel all about? Can you kind of, like, in a nutshell, what are we doing? What is this channel?
Right. So what we realized as we were traveling is that a lot of people think we're on vacation, and we're not. This is an actual lifestyle. And we wanted to share and give back to the community the tips and things that we learned and the mistakes that we've made, so that you don't make those mistakes. And we wanted to share those with you. So we share all these travel tips and these lifestyle tips, and how to, get discounts on Airbnb, and how to use credit cards in order to maybe get a free flight someplace, or how to eat on the road, or how to maintain your weight and your wealth and your wellness and your health and your medical care on the road.
Yeah.
Just all these things that come up in our nomad life. We see a responsibility to share that back to you as part of our channel.
Exactly. Yeah. And there's a few things that come to my mind when I think of, what are we about? Well, we're about full-time travel. We're about, off the beaten path. So we're not doing like real mainstream kinds of things, but we're also budget travelers. So we've got lots of tips and lots of tricks about how to save money and how to do things kind of like a DIY, how to do it yourself kind of travel ideas. We're not going to take the big fancy excursion. We're going to figure out a way, how can we do it ourselves and actually do it the way we want to do it. And then in turn, in this channel, we're sharing that with you.
Our brand, so we are EatWalkLearn, which means that we're going to share eating, which is probably whole food, plant-based, vegan-style food. We're going to share all the hikes and the walking and the outdoor activities that we do. And we're going to share the things that we learn, or the things that we learn from you, or things that we can teach you as we travel throughout the world.
Yeah.
So, and then what's our biggest picture of all, right, is the whole trying to generate peace in the world. So I feel like I put on my Miss USA hat, and what's your goal in the world? To have peace. But it truly, for me in particular, and Steve shares this with me, is that if we can go around the world and we can meet people and develop connections and network with people and develop friendships, through friendships, that's how peace is created. Because when you know people and you love people and you honor people and you understand them, you don't want to bomb them. You don't want to call them bad names. You don't want to turn them into enemies. You want to turn them into friends. Yeah. And that is what world peace is about.
People are genuinely good around the world. And I'd say that I had a little bit of fear before we started traveling full time, and I don't anymore. I love exploring new places and talking to people and talking to locals. And for me, the reason that we have this YouTube channel is a creative outlet. It's a way to express myself. I'm also a writer. I'm writing a fiction book right now. Chris is
He's got time travel in his fiction book.
Chris is finishing up
my third book, which is tentatively titled 2 Carry-Ons and a Better Plan, Life 2 Years on the Road. Title might change, but in general, that should be out here in the summer of 2024.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
You don't have a title for your book
I don't
yet.
have a title. It's coming soon.
Yes, but the title's not coming soon. The book is coming soon.
That's right. Hopefully, it will have a title when it's.
Right. And of course, if you want to know where we are every day, you can check it with us on Instagram. We generally post some sort of story or something every day about where we are. Right now, we're on a cruise ship. And we're not posting about where we are on the cruise ship, but we do generally post every day. So thank you so much for tuning in to listening to our welcome message, for being part of our world. You're welcome into our Nomad Life. It is a community. We love having you. We welcome anybody who wants to come to it, and we really do hope that you will subscribe, like, and follow us all around our little atmosphere or little ecosystem of Eat, Walk, Learn. Great. Talk to you soon.
Peace.